I hadn't meant for the words to escape my mouth. It was one of those stupid, heat-of-the-moment comments humans throw around without thinking. The alien queen had just saved me from certain death. A blast of energy had nearly torn through my chest, and she'd stepped in front of me, raising her shimmering shield. The air had cracked like glass, and the battlefield trembled. When the light cleared, she stood tall, untouched, magnificent, terrifying. And like an idiot, I blurted, "You'd make a cute wife." The soldiers around us went silent. Even the smoke seemed to pause midair. Her golden eyes locked onto mine, unblinking, unreadable. For a full heartbeat, I thought I had just sentenced myself to execution for insulting her dignity. Then, in that calm, imperious tone that carried across the ruined hall, she said, "I accept." My brain short-circuited. Wait, what? The alien warriors around us bowed their heads instantly, as if I had just invoked some sacred rite. Murmurs spread through the ranks. The queen has accepted. The bond is sealed. The prophecy. I want to crawl into a hole. The queen's name was Velara, ruler of the Ascendari Dominion, a race feared throughout the stars. She was over 6 feet tall, with skin like pale silver and hair that shimmered like strands of midnight. To her people, she was divine authority incarnate. To me, she was a woman who had just misunderstood the worst joke I'd ever made. That night, I was escorted, which really meant dragged, to her private chambers. The walls pulsed faintly with bioluminescence, and the air was heavy with the scent of strange flowers. She sat upon a throne carved from living crystal, her gaze never leaving me. "You spoke the rite of binding," she said, her voice even but her eyes sharp. I shook my head furiously. No. I was joking. Humans. We sometimes say things like that without meaning it. It's banter. Her brow arched. "You mock the ancient vows of my people?" "Not on purpose." I said quickly, my hands raised. "I didn't know. I swear, back home it's just a dumb thing guys say when they're nervous." She tilted her head slightly, studying me the way a predator studies prey. Yet the words were spoken, before witnesses, before the gods. To deny them would dishonor me before my people. I swallowed hard. My stomach twisted. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a political disaster. "I'm just a human," I said quietly. "Nobody important. I'm not royalty. I'm not even, I don't know, good at things. You don't want me." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, more like a flicker of amusement. "You are bold enough to jest with me. You threw yourself into battle beside my warriors when you could have fled. You intrigue me. I want to say I intrigue a lot of people, usually right before they regret knowing me. But I bit my tongue. Tomorrow," she continued, "the binding will be proclaimed. You will stand at my side." I didn't sleep. The Ascendari bed was enormous, its surface shifting like water beneath me. But no comfort reached me. My mind replayed the scene over and over. I joked. She accepted. Now I'm marrying a queen. When dawn, or what counted as dawn on this alien world, arrived, attendants dressed me in ceremonial robes. They fussed over me as if I were made of glass, draping me in fabrics that shimmered with color. I caught my reflection in a crystal pane and barely recognized myself. Then the doors opened, and Queen Velara entered. She wore armor that gleamed like starlight, every line of it elegant and lethal. A crown of living silver curved around her head, and when her gaze met mine, I nearly forgot how to breathe. "You look terrified," she said, her tone flat but her eyes almost curious. Terrified is a mild way of putting it. I admitted. For the first time, her lips curved into a real smile, sharp, knowing, but strangely gentle. Good. A husband should know the weight of what he accepts. Except I didn't. I stopped myself. Arguing further seemed suicidal. The proclamation was held in the grand spire, a hall so massive I felt like an insect inside it. Thousands of Ascendari gathered, their eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. When Velara rose, silence felt like a physical force. "In the heat of battle," she declared, "a bond was forged, a vow spoken. I, Velara, Queen of the Ascendari, accept this human as consort and equal." The crowd erupted in a sound like thunder. Stamping feet, ringing weapons, voices raised in unison. My knees nearly gave out. I leaned toward her and whispered, "You sure this isn't like trees or something? Taking a human husband?" Her gaze never left her people, but her words were for me alone. "It is unprecedented. Dangerous. But the gods delight in what is dangerous." Great. I was now divine comedy material. Days turned into weeks. I expected at any moment for the queen to realize her mistake, to cast me aside, to declare the binding null. But she never did. Instead, she tested me. She made me attend councils with her generals. She asked my opinions on strategy, even though I had no idea what half their technology even did. When I admitted ignorance, she didn't mock me. She listened, as if my outsider's perspective mattered. She invited me to walk with her through the gardens that floated above the city. The air smelled of sweet ozone, and alien birds with crystal wings sang overhead. She spoke of her childhood, of war she'd fought, of the loneliness of ruling. I began to see not just the queen, but the woman beneath. And slowly, against all reason, I realized I didn't mind being her husband. She was terrifying, yes, but she was also brilliant, fiercely protective, and, though she'd never admit it, sometimes vulnerable. When she laughed, which was rare, it felt like lightning cracking through a storm. One night, beneath the twin moons, she asked me, "Did you mean it?" "Mean what?" I asked. "When you said I would make a cute wife." I hesitated. Then I smiled, small and a little embarrassed. "Yeah, I meant it." Her golden eyes softened, and for the first time since this whole mess began, she reached for my hand. Her fingers were cool, strong, steady, but not everyone approved. Whispers grew louder in the court. Some nobles saw me as a joke, an insult to their queen. Others saw me as a threat, a usurper. Assassination attempts followed. Poisoned cups, sabotaged walkways, blades in the dark. Each time, Velara stood between me and death, her fury shaking the halls of power. "You are mine," she told her enemies after thwarting yet another plot. "And no one touches what is mine." The possessiveness should have terrified me. Instead, it warmed something deep in my chest, because the truth was, somewhere along the way, the joke had become real. Months later, as war once again loomed on the horizon, I stood beside her in full view of her armies. The banners of the Ascendari streamed in the wind, and the people looked not at me with scorn but with expectation. Queen Velara raised her voice. This human once jested with the words of the right, but the gods wove truth into his jest. "Together we will lead. Together we will conquer. Together we will endure." Her hand slipped into mine before the gathered masses. The sound of their roar rolled across the land like a storm, and I realized that the dumbest joke I had ever made had bound me to the most extraordinary woman in the galaxy.